Hey everybody, welcome back to Partners². So you're probably wondering why we're all decked out right here in our new office. Well, it's not really our new office. We're here for, what, 3 days?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Depends if there's reshoots.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. The building that we're in, it's 1295 North Service Road here in Burlington. They're actually shooting a movie right now, so it's pretty cool. And our office is kind of part of it, so we're excited. So if the movie gets made, we might see our office. How cool is that? But yeah, we have a really awesome question today that came in from actually one of Shane's relatives. So we thought it's a longer one, but it's a really good one.
Yeah,
so,
it kind of recaps some of the stuff that, you know, we've discussed in other videos, but never fully in this series.
Yeah, so take it away there, Shaner.
Okay, from Melissa Brennan, which she just recently got married a couple months back. Congratulations from us. Okay, so her questions are, I have a couple questions for you. I've always thought about starting a business with my husband, but I do worry about not being able to separate business from personal life. When it comes to decisions, if you both are solid on disagreeing, how do you come to a solid decision?
Oh boy.
What is it that you guys do? Do you have a lot of employees? How do you delegate? How long have you been in business together? And did it start at home?
Okay, so this is a 3-parter.
Yeah.
And this one's a goodie. So let's start with the first part of this question so we can answer it.
What, you mean the bottom part?
No.
Well, how we started?
Yeah, let's start with that. That makes sense.
Did we start at home? No.
Originally, Provoke Media and Design was started by myself. So
I worked at Mohawk at the time.
yeah, so what happened is I decided to leave agency life and try it on my own. I had moved up the ranks enough that I felt like I wanted to try it on my own. I wanted a new challenge. So I opened Provoke in 2013. And at this time, Shane decided to go back to school.
Yep.
And for software engineering or design.
Development.
Yeah. And during that time period, I was building up Provoke. And Shane was going to school and the boys were going to school. So I was working from home in the beginning. And then what happened was, fast forward about 5 years, and Shane's done school. He was working at Mohawk for a bit as part of a grant program and working with software development there.
And doing really cool stuff with the health, we'll just call it health management.
Yeah, he signed an NDA, so he can't even talk about it now.
Yeah.
But, so the grant money was over, and he unfortunately was laid off at that time, and he started looking for a new job. Well, I kept on getting more clients in, and at one point we were sitting in the living room and just watching TV, and I go, do you want to just work together? And it's just easier.
Yeah.
And all the money comes into one household. And, you know, he wasn't happy with any of the interviews he had gone on, and I was like, well, what the heck? We try it, and if it doesn't work, you go find a job. But if it does work, super cool.
Yeah.
Fast forward, here we are.
Yeah, but in the beginning, a lot of the times we were out, we started in libraries and a whole bunch of places. We tried not to work from home because we wanted to have that separate area so that when we went home, home was home.
Yeah.
But we did the libraries, we did coffee shops, we did Starbucks.
Yeah, we tried it
And
all.
I can tell you the chairs all sucked. And that was part of our reasoning for finding a co-working place to go work at.
What ended up to be honest, in the beginning, we were being pretty money conscious, so we didn't want to have to pay for an office or any of that stuff. So we tried out libraries, which was pretty good in the beginning. The
chairs are terrible, though.
The chairs were terrible, but it was pretty good.
Fine for an hour, but when you're in there for 10, 12 hours, it really hurts.
Yeah, see, I was fine with it, but that's where we differ. And Yeah, and then we started getting more clients, and I said, okay, I heard about this whole, I'd already been in a co-working space when the business had started. So we found one in Burlington that was closer to us, and we have just, as you can see, stayed here. And we enjoy it. We graduated from like hot desks, which is just an open desk you walk into, to now we have our own office and our own space. So, that's how that progression happened.
So we've been in business together since?
I want to say, has it been 3 years?
It's 3 years at least.
So 3+ years we'll go with. We're not, so Shane was
2017, 2018, somewhere in there.
In April. And we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and now that we've been around each other so long, we take our breaks. But yeah.
So next section.
The second part is, what do we do?
Oh, well, I do graphic design. I do logo design. I do branding. I also do the website design and the print design for all our clients. And Shane?
I do photography. I do social media, a lot of analytical stuff, and website development and software development.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that I think we both kind of moved over. Like, in the beginning, I was like the creative one and he was the technical one. But now it's like I've learned how to do Google AdWords, and I'm taking on a little bit of that kind of stuff, which I've never done before, and I enjoy it. And I'm actually going back to school for UX design. So, we're constant people. It's important to keep learning. So, and it's only a benefit for the businesses that we work with, and because they don't have to go somewhere else. They love working with us, and then we have we have added skill sets on top of what we initially did.
And we tag team on some projects. It's just like there's higher analytical stuff that she doesn't get yet, because you can all learn all this stuff. It's just, but we work together on it, and we'll bounce ideas back and forth and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I'm actually working on a logo design this week. And I'll come up with the logo designs, and I'll ask them, hey, you have any ideas? And we'll brainstorm, and then afterwards I'll show them what I've done, and we'll go together. Oh, that's our favorite, or trash that one. Let's add that one instead, kind of thing. So it's good to have that person to bounce ideas off.
And what people don't realize is, I have a degree in landscape design, so I do understand colors, fonts, all that stuff. So it does, I still use that stuff even though I'm not using that stuff.
Yeah, so it is helpful.
We help each other out.
Yeah, so.
And then we have, so this is about the decisions. If we disagree on something, how do you come to a solid decision?
Well, I just win.
Yeah, she wins most of the time.
I'm just kidding.
But no, we figure out what the problem is, and we basically comes up with the pros and cons, the dreaded pros and cons list, and we figure out from there that if it has more cons, we end up figuring out why we're going to say no or disagree or like agree to disagree, but go with one of the others. Idea on why it's the right decision. Yeah,
so we've agreed to disagree on a few things, and we've agreed to disagree on actually having to fire a client happen once. I didn't want to do it.
I wanted to do it because it was too painful.
Yeah, and for me, I look more at, because I also do a lot
I can say we all, just time out for a sec, I can say we love most of our clients. It was the wrong working environment for all of us. Their side, our side, it just was not right.
And it happens. And it was, nothing against the client at all. They're great and wonderful people. It was just that it was more of the scenario that it wasn't a great working relationship, and we want to have a great working relationship
with every client.
So for us, that was actually a subject of contention between me and Shane. And I'll fully admit, I looked at it from a very financial perspective, and Shane looked at it from a very
mental health
perspective, and I didn't even look at that way. And so in the end, he actually came up with we actually ended up letting that client go, and it took a bit to get me to that side, but in the end, Shane was right, and we might not see eye to eye right away, but in the end, give us a couple days and we'll, I feel like talking out the scenario and the situation ended up, for this particular topic, it ended up working really well, because then I understood his point of view, he understood my point of view, and in the end, he was completely right. And what the biggest point that I can make to any small business owner at this point is, I know financially everyone's up and down all the time, and it's hard because you don't know where your next client's coming from, but the amount of energy, the amount of just plain having to readjust and try your hardest to make this client happy. In the end, it wasn't worth it. And that energy you could have directed to finding somebody else that is a client you want to work with. So that would be a prime example of
it's a great example.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much, it wasn't heated or anything. It was just, she was worried about one thing, and I was more worried about the toll that it was taking on us to try to satisfy this person. And none of us were seeing eye to eye anywhere, so it wasn't worth it.
And we weren't fighting, let's say it wasn't heated about the actual situation itself, but it did cause a lot of frustration on both our sides outside of the workplace, because it constantly kept on coming up. So we had to make a decision pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that also leads into separate business from personal life. It does come home, but like we've explained in a different video, Lisa tends to drive, and then we dole it out in the car and figure it out while we drive. And then we come up with a solution usually together. And
we're not going to say everything's hunky-dory all the time. There has, of course, we've come home and we've had to, work from home, get stuff done, or we've brought business home, but sometimes it's okay, because say after we've made dinner and we're just chilling out and watching some TV, maybe we're brainstorming some new ideas for a client, or maybe, it's picking those times when it's okay. When you're, I do believe you should be
24/7, no way.
No, but you should be able to, we have a pretty fine balance that, we'll never, work is usually at work. And if there's something I have to do, I will work at home if there's a necessary deadline. But we try to keep the two in separate boxes. But
make time for date night.
Yeah, but they do mesh. Like I just said, we'll brainstorm at home things, or maybe we're thinking about something for ourselves on something that we want to do. So that does happen. But I will highly suggest, if you haven't. For me, I need to work in an office. I need to have that space away from the home. Shane is a little bit easier. He's able to mesh between the two, where I can't. I need to be able to go somewhere. When
I need these though. These are exceptionally important.
When the pandemic happened, I was one of those people that were losing their minds at home. I could not handle it. I did not want to be there. We ended up being able to come back into our office as long as we abided by the protocols at the time.
No, that was in late June.
Yeah, we were at home for a pretty significant amount of time, and Harvey got a lot of attention, but it was just very hard for us to concentrate. So for me, especially, I need that separation. So if you're able to afford an office or even go into co-working, if you're in the area, come visit us here, come do a day pass and just try it out and see if it's for you.
Yeah. We can show you around. You can see, because there's probably, like, I know where you live, obviously. So, I mean, there are different options in most areas, and we can discuss them.
Yeah, try a Starbucks or a library too.
Just to start.
Yeah, just start and see how you like it. Like,
it all depends on your type of business too.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's some advice that we we have for that, and we've really enjoyed everyone's questions, and we've really appreciated this one, and this one's going to be a bit longer because these are really big questions.
This is why we eventually want to do a podcast or something like that to talk way longer and maybe have other people like us on to discuss things. Same with the videos.
And the great thing is, even here where we are at our office, we've noticed a lot more people, or significant others, are working together.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah, and when we first moved in, it was just us, and now we've met quite a few. So, and even even with our other segment is Provoke Goes, in restaurants, we find it's a lot of significant others working together. So I feel like it's, there's a potential of it happening more and more because of the pandemic and people reevaluating their lives and stuff.
But you got to remember, the big thing is, because mental health matters a lot. I will preach on this to the choir. I mean, the big thing is, you have to have date night. You have to have going out and just doing things together that's non-work related also, because if you're spending all your time just working, you're going to get on each other's nerves.
Yeah. And, we get on each other's nerves. Yeah. It happens. We spend a lot of time together, but the good thing is when he's focused in on doing his work, I'm usually focused in on doing my work, and we're just in the same room as each other. Yeah, we might chat back and forth, but we're actually doing... We'll sit here for an hour or two not even talking to each other because we're both focused in on our stuff. So sometimes you don't even, the other person's there, but you're not interacting as much as people think you might.
Yeah, if we have a question, we'll ask it.
Yeah, because he'll be on his headphones, I'll be on my headphones, and we'll work away for the morning. We'll send the other a message yes, we're it's because we have headsets on, but send a message to say, hey, need to talk. Lunchtime.
Wow.
Or it's lunchtime, whatever it be. Or right now, Christmas shopping. You know what I'm talking about, peeps.
Which is the subject of our next segment. We'll be dealing with holidays like Christmas.
Ooh.
So it's our festive episode next week.
This could be interesting. Because there's families involved.
Yeah, and work.
and clients, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so till next time.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and have a very awesome week.